Well, welcome back to Gopher's Workshop. I'm your host, Aaron, and joining me, as always, is my fellow host, Chris.
Hello.
And the Sky.
Hey there.
Who's sitting in a very awkward position. Taking some inspiration there.
Yep. Gotta stretch it out here.
Oh, God. So, today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Emperor's Children Codex release. Chris has some hot takes and some things that he wants to say.
I
Boy,
get to
howdy.
be a grumpy nerd today. Also, there's good things, right? There's actually a ton of good things here. This is a great codex, but I got to give my grumps out too.
You get your grump out. We're going to do the episode a little bit different in formatting today. We're going to talk about hot takes, then we're going to take our mid-break, and then we're going to talk about full codex stuff going on after the mid-break. So let's get into it. You ready, Chris? You ready for your grumpiness?
So to be fair, I'm not going to go over all the data sheets. I'm not going to go over all the detachments. There's plenty of other channels out there that are going to read you the codex for no reason. I'm under the assumption we're all adults and I can read for myself. But the internet is kind of an awful place. So we get to start with my least favorite place of all of the internet, Reddit.
Yeah.
Basically,
so toxic.
You're right. I hate it. They get an opinion, and I'm not even saying their opinion is wrong, but it becomes the only opinion that's like an option, and immediately they become wrong even when they're right. I hate them so much. Anyway, so with all the spoilers and also with people getting their codexes a little early from like the army box and stuff like that, there's some things that are bubbling to the surface as far as like what people are suggesting to take, and I think what people are gravitating towards. The first one is basically everybody thinks Demon Prince with Wings is like an auto include 2 or 3 of. The reason is because they have an ability that when they complete a charge, one of the units they charge, they get to do basically, I want to say grenade strat for free, but it's not actually the strat. It's just worded the same. So you could
it's like the strat.
Compound it. Yeah. So it's a Hammer of Wrath effect that is roll 66 for each 4-up do a mortal wound. So it's pretty good, right? No complaints. Solid. And the internet's argument is like, if you take 2 or 3 of these, you can basically charge anything and it's dead. And it isn't dead on the charge, because let's say it's like a big knight or whatever, you have enough power fist attacks from the Demon Princes, you probably finish it off. That's all reasonably fair, but also for their points, which may get adjusted, I think they cost way too much. Like, it's not that they're bad. They are good. They move 14 inches. That's 2 inches faster than like every other Demon Prince of Wings. I don't actually know that that's true, because like World Eater's got a bunch of buffs to their stuff, and I'm not sure if we're going to see like a bunch of data sheets get upped in movement speed, or if it's just Emperor's Children, World Eaters. We'll find out as we get continued spoilers for things coming out, like Death Guard, etc.
I've seen Demon Princes come and go before, and it's just the same thing. We'll see what happens.
But long story short, the internet thinks Demon Prince with Wings is great, just mortal wound the crap out of things. And to be fair, there's a solid argument here. Because in addition to mortal wounds just being good, it turns out this codex is not the best at tank busting, but we'll touch on that later. Still good. The other thing that they think is kind of the best is the Cacophonist. He has 2 abilities. The first one is whatever unit he's leading gets sustained 1. That's pretty good. It turns out he's actually like a Terminator character, so he's got like 2-up, 4-up. He's pretty solid. It's not bad. Also, people are way overestimating him. The second ability is another mortal wound effect. It's like half a grenade. If he shoots at a infantry unit, after you get done shooting, you roll 3d6 for each 4+ do a mortal wound. And then it must take a battle shock test. It's good. I'm not complaining about it. But also, given the other characters that are in here, I have no clue why we're not playing the Exaltant over Cacophonist almost all the time. Now, as much as I say I don't know why, I have a theory.
Is it because of the cool name?
No. So of the detachments, I have the theory that I know what detachment everyone is going to gravitate towards initially. And I say this for two reasons. Not only because Cacophonist is like sold out everywhere and is super good according to the internet, but also because we have seen a like really big spike in people requesting demon figures like demonettes and Shalaxi and things like that. And part of that is because there is a detachment in this codex where you get to, I don't want to say ally in, but they have demon data sheets in the codex, and it lets you take up to like half your list in those data sheets called Legion of Excess. The detachment's called Carnival of Excess, but basically it gives all the demon models a 6-inch aura, and then it gives all the Emperor Children models a 6-inch aura, but those auras only affect the other type of model.
Oh, okay.
So like the demons give out, so the aura basically says, give the unit sustained 1. If they already have sustained 1, they crit on 5s. So basically the demons, say Emperor's Children, have sustained 1, or if Cacophonist, they crit on 5s. The opposite is true. Emperor's Children say demon models have sustained 1. If they already have sustained 1 for some reason, then also crit on 5s.
That's so ridiculous. That sounds like it needs to be banned immediately. It's way too much shooting.
Well, and that's one of the things, right? Is like sustained 1 crit on 5s, for like what it's worth, is actually more consistent sustained 2. Like on average, it's supposed to be the same as sustained 2.
And we had no problems
ends up being
with
more consistent.
And we had absolutely no problems with a detachment having sustained 2 ever.
Yep, it's pretty good. It's okay. These models aren't painted green, painted pink.
You're right. Totally different.
Modaka.
So I think everyone's going to gravitate towards this demon detachment that's a mix of Emperor's Children and demons. They're going to play, max out Cacophonist, giving a bunch of things, sustained 1, crit on 5s. Solid stuff, not complaining. I don't think that's where they're going to end up when they start to like get some more playtesting in and the world ends up kind of reacting to them and getting, learning how to counter them and stuff like that. But
Are those buffs in melee too, or are they only shooting?
They are. So I'm pretty sure it's both. I'm going to double check real quick.
Oh, so you're saying it's even more than that? Okay, that's fine.
Yes. So it's.
I expect that. I expect that from them. I'm just,
Yep. I was a little worried they were going to say like the Emperor's Children only give sustained 1 to melee because there's very few shooting weapons in demons, but they've got like a whip and stuff on Shalaxi and stuff like that. So it still technically applies. Yeah, it's both. Okay. So this is what the wide internet says. I'm not saying, okay, I think they're wrong on the Demon Prince of the Wings, but the Cacophonist, I'm not saying they're wrong in this detachment. But my big thing is I think it's like in this detachment. Outside this detachment, I would much rather have an Exaltant. So one of my hot takes is that immediately Exaltant is actually better than Cacophonist. So he is basically a mix between a captain and lieutenant. He's got like the Gravis Captain ability where once per game he gets like 3 extra attacks, but is technically better than Gravis because in addition to those 3 attacks, all of his melee weapons end up getting an extra AP as well.
Okay.
And then the other ability he has is give whatever unit he's in lethal hits, like a lieutenant.
Do they have a lot of lethal hits already?
No.
Okay.
So here's the 2 things that I think make him kind of crazy. First off, the detachment as a whole, or the faction, as a whole, doesn't have a ton of high strength. They have like a lot of strength 8, but they don't have a ton of actually like strength 12 or 11, to like bust tanks. So these lethal hits are going to be super useful.
So you skipped the the wound roll. And
yep. So it makes tank busting way more reasonable. They also have like next to no lance. There is technically, I think, one data sheet in here that has lance, but it's like next to nothing. So these lethal hits are really valuable to them as far as tank busting. The other thing is that the Exultant also has 2 melee weapons. Like he has a weapon and it has a couple of options for it. You can give it precision or just have it be a cool weapon, that's fine. But he also has a weapon with extra attacks. So kind of like a Gravis Captain, he also has way more dice to throw than your average character. Again, He is extremely good. Unless you're playing Carnival of Excess, if you have taken 3 Cacophonus before 3 Exultants, I have no idea what you're doing. Again, in Carnival of Excess, it makes sense, but outside of there, I don't understand.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, see, the other thing that I think is absolutely crazy is actually Demon Prince on foot. So while Demon Prince on wings can deal out mortal wounds, and that makes him pretty cool and sounds great, I think the real answer after people kind of get a feel for the Codex and people start reacting better, Demon Prince on foot has an aura of give an extra AP. That's
like just
crazy.
Flat out.
Yep.
Shooting and fighting, I assume.
So I think it's just melee, but let me double check. I've gone through this a few times, but I just want to make sure I'm not.
Because there's an argument, if you're going to do the shooting bricks and you can grant that, that'd be pretty good.
So effectively, it's only melee weapons. It doesn't say only melee, but it says if the unit made a charge this turn. So effectively, it ends up being only melee weapons.
Okay.
But
That's
still,
good.
It turns out one of the data sheets in here is Assault Intercessors, but better. So like they have the same rule as Assault Intercessors. They have effectively the same weapons as Assault Intercessors, but they move faster. So that alone is pretty solid.
So if you're trying to skip the wound roll with the Exultant lethal hits, and then you're also pumping the AP.
Yep.
You're saying, I skipped wounding you, so I ignored your toughness, and now I'm making your save worse.
Yeah. Like, I mean, would you play Assault Intercessors if for like, I think it's 15 extra points, you got faster movement and you had like buffs within your army that allowed you to manipulate your AP up?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I would. Like, pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the Flawless Blades. And good frickin' Christmas, I don't understand. As far as the internet is concerned, people are barely talking about Flawless Blades at all. I'm going to start right now and say Flawless Blades are the best data sheet in this whole codex. I'm not saying they don't get like pointed into the ground and become unplayable. I'm not saying they don't get cheaper because no one's talking about them. I don't know what's going to happen with their points, but their data sheet ignoring points is the most consistent damage output in the game, period. That's crazy. Not the most damage output, but the most consistent.
So what are their abilities and stuff?
They have one ability, and the ability is long form, anti 3+ everything.
That'll do it.
Yep. So they only have 3 attacks per model. That's not great, but you can like give them sustained with detachment rules or whatever else. Like there are ways to kind of manipulate that a bit.
Hold on, you're combining anti with sustained?
Potentially. I'm not saying you do. I don't think you actually need it. Because the minute you introduce sustained and feel like you need that, you've removed some consistency. I'm saying right now, I can take a 6-man unit getting 18 dice total. If I charge, I basically on average should be hitting 15. With anti 3+, I don't care what I'm attacking as far as unit type. I don't care what your toughness is. The answer is I'm always wounding on 3+. And when I say wounding on 3+, because they count as crits, since it's like an anti thing, it turns out even your -1 to wound doesn't apply. So like even against Custodes, I am saying I get 10 wounds. I am averaging 10 wounds 100% of the time. That is my average. Now, we have some variability with like, it's AP3, which is really good, but also do you have an invul or not, right? So like if you're 2 or 3 up armor without an invul, I probably get like 7 or 8 of them through. That's pretty solid. If you have a 4 up invul because you're blade guard or whatever else, well, now I'm probably only getting 5 through. But as much as that's true, I get to charge you and say I'm almost certainly wounding 10 times. Even if you have a, like, knowing what your saves are before I even charge, I can say you're probably going to fail like 7 or 5. And at 2 damage apiece, I can basically say like, well, but I'm almost guaranteed 10 damage.
What's their max unit size?
6. It's 3 or 6. They're like a blade guard unit.
Okay, I got you.
And speaking of which, they're basically blade guard. They are faster than blade guard as far as movement. But instead of having the 4 up invul, they don't have the shield. They get a 5 up invul.
Yeah, but it sounds
fair
like
trade.
If you throw them into blade guard on the Alpha Strike, totally smoke them.
Pretty much. Yeah, actually. Like, blade guard with Judy so that they fight first, even when you charge them. Maybe you have a hard time. But yeah, blade guard don't have Judy to give them fights first. This unit probably wins most fights. There is technically a drawback to the ability. If you don't kill any models at the end of the fight phase, you basically hazard one of your guys away. So there's a drawback. But again, your damage output is so consistent. It turns out you basically know whether or not you're going to kill a model. And that's even with tanks, right? Like, full 6-man, I can't charge a Dorn and expect to kill it. But also, if I wound the Dorn and do some damage to it, I can know that, like, the Dorn's half dead. Well, now that it's half dead, I probably consistently kill it. You're right. Let's just charge. And you probably kill the Dorn. Again, not the most damage output in the game, but the most consistent.
Yeah.
This unit also has the orc dilemma of the ability is so good, there's only one character that can be attached to them, Lucius. And while Lucius does technically give them ability to make them, buff them and make them slightly better, that sounds cool, but also I don't even know that I care. And it's a good ability. So his ability is Lucius. When he's, it's not even when he's leading, but each time this model makes an attack, if it's targeting a character, monster, or walker unit, you can re-roll the hit and wound rolls. It's fine. I don't even care. What's crazy is it's like orcs with lutas and shock attack guns, giving him anti 3+ everything. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a reverse buffing situation.
Yep. So again, even if you're like, 6 flawless blades doesn't quite get there. Well, you put Lucius in there, and now, you know what? Maybe I can kill a Rogal Dord in 1 turn. Like,
yeah,
I'm the most consistent unit in the game. Why are we not talking about this unit? So, that's crazy to me, especially with the extra movement speed. Like, if you know how to use terrain properly, they're infantry, so you can basically get the charge all the time. Unless your opponent has a bunch of like fight first ability, natural, flawless blade are crazy. Absolutely nuts.
I'm sure there's definitely some fight on death or something in the Codex.
There is, in fact, in one of the detachments.
Okay, so what attachment do you like?
Yep. Mercurial Host. I'm going to tell you right now, as far as detachment roll, this isn't a bad one, but it's the least shiny. However, objectively, I think after everyone gets used to this and then counterplay comes into focus, I think this is going to end up being the best detachment. So its detachment ability is you can re-roll advance rolls made for Emperor's Children. Before we go any farther, I should probably go over the army roll. I was going to do this a little later, but basically the army roll is with restrictions. You can advance and charge and fall back and charge. So the re-rolling advances is actually really useful. I'm going to go over the army roll a little bit later. But anywho. So this detachment is crazy. And I say that despite having the least shiny detachment rule, because the enhancements are all very good. Without even looking at their points, which has a real effect on my choice, right? But I am okay with taking any of these enhancements. I see a reason why they could all be good. Then I go to the enhancements. None of these enhancements are especially flavorful or crazy or super powerful, but it turns out while they're all kind of generic, they're all the generic enhancements I appreciate in every other detachment put into the same table.
Yeah.
This detachment is so, I don't want to say bland, but it's so dull, but it has everything you've ever asked for. Surprisingly good. There's one to just give a unit sustained hits because you decided to. There's another one that gets you to subtract wound roll as a defensive thing. There's an auto 6 advance, and when you have advance in charge, that's pretty good.
So this sounds a lot like the reason Warhorde is taken and works. It's not the most exciting attachment, but it has every tool you need for pretty much any matchup, whether it's fighting on death or getting more range or whatever.
Yep. One of the enhancements in here is of a different name, right? But it's basically smoke. But it doesn't require the smoke keyword. So you can just decide to give something -1 to hit in the shooting phase, and there's no restrictions. I guess it has to be Emperor's Children, right? So you can't hit a knight if you ally that in. But also everything has smoke now. And for the things that have it's great. Again, is it shiny? No. Is it exactly what I would ask for? 100%.
Yeah, we get it. The Emperor's Children vape, they're super crazy.
Okay, so I think out of the gate, everyone's going to Carnival of Excess. I think over time, people are going to start experimenting with other things, especially as their opponents get used to this faction and start counterplaying better. And after the experimenting, I think Mercurial Host is going to be the winner. I think this detachment is so good.
The chosen one.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's a lot more that kind of goes along with some of this. Again, I'm not reading all the data sheets and all the detachments. The only other thing I kind of want to touch on before we go to our break and then hit the rest of the Codex is I've seen a bunch of people on our fair internet, fair being a loose term here, talk about Fulgrim being not that impressive. I disagree wholeheartedly. I'm not saying with all of their complaining, he may actually go down a few points. And if he goes down 10, 15 points, I'm even happier. But also, if you take a step back, this guy is nuts. Absolutely crazy. The best comparison, which the internet is mostly doing, which is extra funny to me, is kind of comparing him to Angron. Turns out Angron basically gets 2 more attacks no matter, for the tank busting profile, and gets 6 more attacks, which is only half true because he doesn't have extra attacks like Fulgrim does. So for his sweeping attacks, they both get a bunch of attacks, but because the extra attacks are less good than the main attacks, technically his damage output's lower.
Yeah.
But also, he is infinitely better. And here's why. First off, Angron is 435 right now. That could totally change in the future. We're getting a Codex for World Eaters, which almost certainly means it changes because they're reworking a bunch of stuff. But if we just go off right this second, Angron's 435. Fulgrim, being relatively the same everything, not exactly, but close enough, he is 385. That's a real number of points cheaper. But here's why I'm arguing Fulgrim is objectively better. First off, they're effectively the same speed. And that's with Angron getting the +2 move. Before, like in Index, that's on his detachment rule. After Codex, it's going to be just baked into his data sheet, but they're effectively the same move. But that's not true, because Fulgrim has advance in charge. And while Angron could get advance in charge, that's way more limited than it's the faction role. I don't have to roll a specific thing. I don't have to be in a specific detachment for a strat. He just has advance in charge all the time. Fulgrim is faster. Pretty good. Then Angron has this giant problem of he launches himself across the field turn 1. He absolutely clobbers the crap out of something, right? And then he dies. Because the opponent, like, even if he's engaged, they fall back from Angron, they shoot the crap out of him and he dies, or they multi-charge him with a bunch of units and just dogpile him and he dies. And then you have to resurrect him, which is reliant on a roll. Well, Fulgrim doesn't have a resurrect, right? That sucks. So he's less good, right? Wrong. It turns out both Fulgrim has 2 abilities that, depending on the situation, depends on which one you choose, can help keep him alive so he never dies. He can choose fights first. So after you absolutely launch his ass into your opponent and he clobbers something, if they're a melee army, you give him fights first. And then he, even if they multi-charge you, he gets to fight before they do, keeping himself alive, or at least taking multiple units with him before he dies, which is better than Angron.
Yeah.
Well, they're a shooting unit. So if a fights first doesn't apply, that's only kind of true. His other ability basically says when your opponent attempts to fall back, they have to take a leadership test, and if they fail, they can't fall back. Well, now, Necron's being like a great example. I charge in and I clobber the crap out of something. Sounds great. And then I pile into this other unit of Immortals. Okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to fall back and shoot you with my Doomsday Arcs. Nope, you got to take a leadership test. Did you happen to fail? Because you can't, like, in the movement phase, you can't auto pass with the strat. Well, you failed. Now you're stuck there. You can't target me with blast stuff. And even if you do target me with other things, -1 to hit. Okay, that sounds like he doesn't auto die like Angron does on turn 1 every time. Fulgrim is objectively better and like 50 points cheaper.
But I think he's probably, it takes a little more work to play him right.
And you know what? That's fair. That might be true.
Well, I'm just saying that's probably what's going to make people think is like, it wasn't just easy. But
and you're right. I think any Primarch requires an amount of finesse. If you're playing Guilliman, because he's the answer, right? Double Oath, +1 to wound, he's great. Well, if you play him wrong and end up messing up to where you like lose Lone Op too early and totally get clobbered, he doesn't do his job. He's not worth the points. I think any Primarch requires an amount of finesse. You can't just be dumb with them. You're right. But as much as that's true, if we assume, big assumption, everyone's on a similar skill level, Fulgrim is objectively better than Angron. Now, after we see the Codex updates, or not updates, but the Codex for World Eaters come out here in a few weeks, maybe that's not true anymore. But as of this time, which is what everyone is comparing on the internet, is Index Angron versus Codex Fulgrim. People are saying Angron's better just because his raw damage output is higher. And I cannot fathom why that is true.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the points and the new stat line shake out. Because, I mean, basically, they're all getting updated. Almost at the same time.
And, yes, like you said, surprisingly, very close together.
Except for Magnus, who's just going to go cry in a corner or something.
Nah, it's fine. He'll be close behind.
Poor Magnus.
Yeah, he didn't even do anything wrong. No, he didn't.
He's a good boy.
There's some other things to talk about after the break. We're going to go over some objectively bad things in the Codex, and then we're going to go over some more of the great things that are in the Codex. But we'll do that after we do some break time.
So it sounds like we're going to our mid break. Well, here we are in the middle of the show. You know, the first thing we have to do, gentlemen, we have to thank our patrons. Our one and the only Mitch of Legend. Our lovely White Guard. Our White Shield Guardsman. There we go. I'll get these terms down eventually. Leave me alone.
I am leaving you alone right now, and it's taking all of my willpower to do so.
So yes. So thank you to our lovely patron. And if you would like to support us, you can go to Patreon and check us out. We've got a bunch of lovely tiers, a bunch of awesome stuff to choose from. You can vote on episodes. You can submit lists for review. You can even at certain tiers, you can submit lists that we will playtest for you. So go check it out. But also we have to thank our listeners, because without you, we wouldn't have a show. So thank you for that. And on that note, we've done our thank yous. It's time to talk some news.
So many pre-orders.
Hey, we got all the Chaos Marines except for that one, like, wizardy one.
It's
You mean
I don't.
the Egyptian? Oh my
That's
god!
their theme. They're like the blue and gold Egyptians. I don't.
And you know
all
the
of them.
worst part is, like, some of them are actually featured in the Warhammer community post picture. I'm just saying.
Yep. It's
Hey,
fine. We don't ask for logic. So this Saturday we're gonna have pre-orders going up along with GW and everybody else. But ours are 15% off for World Eaters, Death Guard. That's Battle Force boxes, codexes, data sheets, etc. And then Emperor's Children are getting their Combat Patrol. Very cool. Combat Patrol is actually super. We're getting Combat Patrols for all three. But the Combat Patrol for Emperor's Children is actually incredibly useful. Get it while you can. Given how popular they are, I suspect we're going to see within the next month a drought of Emperor's Children being really hard to find kind of across the board. So get them while you can. In addition to that, the shop has picked up a new game, Fallout Factions. So nerd. So feel free to check out the website. We've got some stuff on there. Also, we set it up to show you things that we don't even have in stock. So if you can kind of see what's all available, anything that you're looking for, even if we don't have it in stock, shoot us an email. We will get you taken care of. Still at 15% off.
Because we love you. That's why.
Yeah, it's more. That's our chapter detachment rule.
Oh God, you're right.
The Gopher Games detachment.
I don't like our chapter name. Are we the Discount Marines?
Oh
no! You said it.
Yeah. We're trying to get more other miniature games in too. So we got like Fallout Factions is new. We're doing a demo day on the 26th of whatever this month is, and then
April.
Same time as the pre-orders.
It's May.
Oh, is it May?
No, it's April. It's this week.
Yeah, shut your face hole.
We could do another one in May. We're doing like a learn to play for Fallout Factions, and then we also we have a bunch of Bushido stuff in, also 15% off, and a lot of Gamers Grass stuff, which they have good tufts and bases and these cool vinyl plants and other things. We're just trying to carry the stuff that we think you guys would want.
At a sweet deal.
Yeah. I'm the hobby guy. I have used all this stuff. It's very cool. I'm probably there'll be more stuff out for it, so you guys can watch me mess up models with it. It'll be great.
Well, on that note, I think we've said all we need to say. What do you guys think?
Let's get back to that Codex.
Oh! All right, let's go to the end of the episode. All right, Chris, you got really excited in mid-break. Let's talk about this Codex.
All right, so per my usual, I'm going to start with the bad. We're going to end on the good. I still got good things to say, but also, I have never seen a worse detachment. So,
are you sure? Even DACA post nerf? Are you sure?
Yes, actually. A bold statement. Yes, it is still worse than DACA after the nerf that was so hard it will never be played again. So,
this is bad.
Slaanesh's Chosen. It ignores all modifiers to your movement, advance, and charge rolls, but only for character units.
What?
Moving on.
Okay.
Second ability, at the start of the battle, your warlord counts as the favored champion. And then the first time during each player's turn, that an Emperor's Children character unit destroys an enemy unit after resolving its attacks, that character's unit becomes the new favored chosen, replacing the old one. Each time a model from your army that's in a favored chosen unit makes an attack, you get to re-roll the wound.
Okay.
I would like to point out some timing here. I have a unit. It's the favored chosen. I get to shoot with it in theory because it's already the favored chosen, right? I get to shoot with it. Let's say it kills a unit. That's pretty good. Now I shoot with the second unit, or let's say I shoot out of order because I protected my warlord and he didn't quite get line of sight turn one, whatever. I shoot with the second unit. It's not the favored chosen. I get to kill something. Hell yeah. Now it's the favored chosen, getting a benefit, right? Except for it already shot. So it doesn't get the benefit this turn. And because it only happens once per turn, it doesn't matter what else I do. It's stuck as being favored chosen for the rest of the turn. So
you
never get the favored chosen benefit unless that unit is the favored chosen at the beginning of the turn and you shoot with it first. That's the only time.
But then, okay, it kills something and now it's still the favored chosen.
Yep. But it only changes once. So if it's already the favorite chosen, and let's say it kills something because you're getting the rerolls, and that's great. In theory, the second unit you shoot, if it also kills something, now it becomes the favorite chosen. It changes once per turn. What's really funny is it's once on each player's turn. So even if on my turn I set it up to, hey, I made this unit the favorite chosen, so during my next turn they'll get the rerolls. Well, what happens on your opponent's turn when, let's say, they charge you with some cultists and they charge something that they know you don't want to be favorite chosen, and you clap some cultists? Well, now awful. That unit's the favorite chosen, and your opponent got to choose, so you don't get the rerolls on the unit you wanted during your next turn.
This sounds like the worst thing ever. So you're telling me that, okay, so as a
character units get unmodified movement, advance, and charge rolls. That's like the only benefit.
Two things. One, there used to be like the freebooters attachment. Yes, I play orcs. All my references are to orcs. Sorry. But
get over it.
The freebooters attachment back in the day where it's like, oh, you killed a thing? Now you're like +1 to hit and the next thing. So if you keep killing units, their shooting got better and better and better, but only during that turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could like try to chain up a combo wombo for your shooting phase if you target priority just right. Really punishing against MSU. Okay, whatever. This is like the opposite of that. This is like, hey, let's pass around the non-bow potato, and that's the whole detachment roll. Have fun. What?
Yep.
And then
so
the second thing, my second thing though, is that this basically just says, okay, definitely don't get attached to any damn units, because you gotta be a character by yourself. Oh, you're just gonna have to leave those like flawless blades behind, man. If you want to make that charge, just forget them. Yeah,
So-
they got the Tangle Flick grenade. They fell on the Tangle Flick grenade for your character, but now your character's stuck, like tied to him with a rope.
Yeah, there's one way where arguably this makes any sense. And the idea is if you take only the well-rounded units, like the basic troop that's in here, the tormentors or whatever, to where they have guns and they have melee, in theory, you can kill a thing in the shooting phase, become the favored chosen, so that later in the charge phase, after you charge, you get some bonuses in melee, but it's only going to be the bonus in melee ever, because again, after you shoot and kill something, you've already shot.
I got a dumber take on this. I think you get your fancy Land Raider and you just party bus or bust. That's it. No attached units, all characters. You just like, that's all you do. Party bus all day long.
See, but then at that point, like, okay, let's say you do that. Well, now you've like party bust. So the land here is likely going to kill something, stealing the favorite chosen away from the characters.
Oh, but I like that
gets
card.
no benefit.
That's
And
a nice
because
card.
there's no character attached. But okay, so that's not actually how it works, right? The characters dump out. The characters dump out, and your characters don't have a ton of shooting, which means the only time they're going to kill something is in the fight phase. And now that they've swung and killed something in the fight phase and become the favorite chosen, they've already swung, and you're done. You get no benefit again.
So you would almost want to like barely not kill something with this Land Raider, right? So one of your characters that hopped out and is going to charge can like pop it off, finish it off, get the buff. So on the charge phase, it's the chosen.
Yes, and to be fair, I made the joke, but also the Land Raider would never become the favorite chosen because it's when a character unit destroys an enemy unit. So like the Land Raider can't actually be, like, I made the joke, but also it can't actually become the favorite chosen. But that's not necessarily the greatest either, right? Because the Land Raider barely kills it, and then you're able to, I don't know, grenade strat, which is a gray area, by the way. I don't know if
that triggers
counts.
it or not.
Yeah, I don't know if that actually counts because it's not. Is it killing it? I don't know.
This whole detachment's nothing but issues.
Yes. No, it's even after deck of nerfs into Oblivion, this is still probably the worst attachment I've ever seen. Because on top of all of this, right, there's a bunch of work involved. You have to track, is this the first time a character unit, not a unit, a character unit has killed something this turn? And then you have to like also track the MacGuffin that you're passing around of like who's the favored guy. And after you spend all this time keeping track of that and explaining it to your opponent and like making it also works in your opponent's turn. So like your opponent gets to make some choices if they know what's going on. But all of this but I'm still not really getting a benefit.
Wow.
Sounds like somebody who just likes to really keep track of things.
Also,
Yeah,
get
I'm
ready
a
for
control
this.
freak detachment.
Okay.
I'm here.
No, detachment gets worse. Detachment also has 4 enhancements, some of which are very mediocre and some of which are acceptable. And then, like, if your strats and enhancements can actually be so good that you're willing to just give up your detachment roll entirely, I don't hate this detachment. But also, all of the enhancements are like twice the cost they should be. So basically, you're never taking any of the enhancements either.
Okay.
The strat table has to make up for your entire detachment roll and your entire enhancement table.
Does it?
Yeah.
No. Like, it doesn't have bad strats in it, but also almost every strat also only applies to character units. But what's really funny is it's kind of like the Blood Angel strats, right? It's like, I'm going to do a strat.
Thinking.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm going to do a strat, and this unit gains X benefit. Well, that's not very impressive. but it gains also Y benefit if it's the favored chosen. Holy shit. No, you know what? Now it's acceptable for 1 CP if I get both benefits. But when is it the favored chosen? After it's already shot or already fought and killed something and become favored, which means I can't even target with this strat to like buff its damage anymore because it's already fought.
I don't know. Are you just trying to give the favored thing to Fulgrim the whole time? Because I don't know.
And you know what?
Enough for just like one shot. Okay, everybody stand back. The one guy's going to do everything first this turn.
I think that's the honest answer. The only way to make this work is to basically take Fulgrim and Lucius, put Lucius with a full brick of Flawless Blades, and then you, like, for the first several turns, Fulgrim runs around and Lucius just hides. That's it. And then Fulgrim gets favored chosen. He absolutely clobbers this and that and has a great time. And then after Fulgrim dies, then you spend a turn of Flawless Blades come out. They kill a thing, become favored chosen, and assuming they don't immediately die afterwards, which should happen, now Fulgrim is favored chosen, Lucius is the favored chosen and gets to have another turn of cool stuff. That's the only way to make this detachment work, and it's still bad.
It sounds like they said, oh wow, the Blood Angels Grotmus detachment sounds so great. And somebody in the back of the room yelled, hold my beer, and did it the wrong way.
Oh, no, they're like, it's excessive. And they're like, you know what? You're right.
Okay, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to be a sassy bitch. I think they made this detachment, and it was good at one point during playtesting. And then, after the fucking DACA debacle, which none of this is true, by the way, but after the DACA detachment, someone brought up this detachment and said, this detachment is going to get Reddit's attention. And they immediately said, you know what? Fuck that detachment. Just make it unplayable. We're going to preempt all of Reddit. Doesn't matter. It's bad.
Oh, I think it was just mistranslated. I don't know what from, but
stone tablets from, I don't know, ancient Aztec something.
Yeah. Okay, so
Aztecs.
So besides the detachment with the excessive bookkeeping, what else is bad?
The real answer about the Codex, right? Getting off my high horse. This faction in general is going to do really well into MSU. It's also going to do kind of poor against toughness spam. Knights, they're going to have a tough time. If someone's playing like the Iron Storm Space Marine list with like all tanks, it turns out they have very, very little high strength. They have access to some amount of lethal hits. They have access to an absolute mountain of strength 8, AP2, 2 damage. Right? Like, faction is good. Faction is not all-encompassing perfect. It, in fact, will struggle a bit with toughness spam. That's okay, though. Cacavonus is the only character that can go with their Terminators, which I think this is a giant oversight, and I really hope they fix. Not because he's the only one that can join, but because when he joins, despite being a 2-up, 4-up Terminator model, he doesn't have Deep Strike. So attaching him removes Deep Strike from your Terminators. Sad. Very sad. Again, I think this is a very simple FAQ. Hey, by the way, Cacophonist has Deep Strike ability on his datasheet now. I simple fix. I'm not actually bitching, but also we got to talk about it or GW won't realize, right? So
yeah,
he needs Deep Strike. I'm not mad at him. He is a very reasonable model. The fact that he's the only one that can go with Terminators and doesn't have Deep Strike is a mistake. Generally, this is another specialty Chaos Space Marine detachment or faction. So they have generally limited data sheets. There's 17 total data sheets that are theirs, not including the demons. And of those 17, you've got like a generic Land Raider, you've got a generic Rhino. A lot of the demon models are technically identical to the Demon Codex, but they're more expensive. This is reasonable, though, because you have to keep in mind the only time you're taking those data sheets is in the detachment where they effectively have an aura of sustained 1 for Emperor's Children models. So they are objectively better than the regular Demons Codex. Them being 10 or 20 points more base is very acceptable. I'm not saying that they're mispointed. I think they're actually appropriately pointed for the demons. But again, limited data sheets, because even all those extra the like 8 or 9 extra data sheets that are demons only apply to the 1 detachment. So I'm still saying we're at like 15 to 17 regular data sheets. This is not great for them, right? But that's okay. It's not bad. We all have, like, new factions all have to start here and build up over time. We've seen that with Death Guard, World Leaders, etc. It's okay. But it is technically a negative for now. Okay, so moving on to the great stuff. This faction is hilariously good, okay? As I mentioned before, they have faction-wide advance and charge, and they have faction-wide fallback and shoot and charge. I think maybe it's fallback and shoot. I gotta double check. I confused myself. Anyway, here's the problem with this rule. It is going to be confusing. This faction requires bookkeeping, like more than the libraries of the Thousand Suns. So much bookkeeping. So the actual rule says, if this unit advances or falls back, when doing so, it's eligible to shoot and declare a charge with this exception. But when doing so, it cannot target a unit that it was engagement range of at the start of the turn. And it cannot target a unit that was targeted by another unit's charge or attack this phase. So basically what this means is if I'm engaged with you and I want to fall back, shoot and charge, I have to fall back away from the thing I was engaged with and go and fight something else. Also, this means that I can't, like, if I advance and shoot against that unit, nothing else that advanced can also shoot at that unit. What really sucks here is it creates an order of operations that is confusing. If I advance and shoot at this unit that hasn't been shot at before, and then something else that didn't advance shoots at it, it is still allowed to. Feels good. If I shoot at this thing that didn't advance, or with this thing that didn't advance at this unit, and then this unit that did advance attempts to shoot at it, it cannot. So, like, depending on the order in which you shoot things determines whether or not they're an eligible target. So this is extremely confusing and mountains of bookkeeping for the player to do it correctly. On the flip side of the coin, with this much confusion, it also means your opponent is absolutely going to be confused. They're going to question you all the time, and that's appropriate to do so because it's going to be so freaking easy to cheat this. I'm not even saying like intentionally cheat. I mean like accidentally cheat. So simple to do this. I appreciate that there's an appropriate limitation. I appreciate that it is like trying to be on theme, but this is a level of complexity in such a simple mechanic that is going to be a pain in the ass for everyone involved. Now, I say this is like one of the great things, but that's because the faction-wide advance shoot and charge is incredibly powerful. It is actually a great thing. That being said, again, this is also a bad thing because it's unintentionally too complicated. As I mentioned before, good thing about the Codex, Fulgrim is actually way better than Reddit gives credit for. I kind of went over that earlier. The whole faction deals with MSU extremely well. Okay. Again, Mountain of Strength 8, AP2, 2 damage. Also, it's got the really good advanced charge. It's got fallback, shoot, and charge. So it almost doesn't matter what MSU you're playing against. I think this faction is going to be incredibly powerful against MSU, which is to say, I think it's going to put up crazy good win rates in Europe because they love MSU. In like North America, that's going to be less true. it's not that the faction's worse, it's the same faction, right? But in most of like America and stuff, it turns out we love big tanks and we love knights and we love Death Star combos and things like that. So this faction is still good against a lot of that and can still be good, but it's going to be slightly less oppressive or impressive in North America than it is in Europe, because the internet
slightly less oppressive. Nope, I like that one better.
It's technically true. As far as BCP is concerned, and like things like MetaWatch, stuff like that, they kind of wrap all the GTs around the world together, and they just say, "Hey, here's all the GTs for this week," but they don't really split it up into European meta or like North American meta, things like that. So it gets a little confusing for people. This is part of why like Reddit is a really dumb place, because they also don't parse that out. But yeah, it's going to look like an incredibly powerful faction on the internet. And that's because there are so many European tournaments that happen every week, because they're encompassing many countries and things like that. Whereas in America, while we still have GTs almost every week, they're less, right? We have bigger GTs, but less of them. They have smaller GTs, but more of them. They're going to look impressive because of the European meta. They are going to be slightly less impressive, but still acceptable in North America. And then as a subtle reminder, these are still Chaos Marines, right? So you can ally in Chaos Knights, you can ally in regular demons into any detachment, not just the one that allows you to ally in the special demon data sheets. They are separate. So you could, in theory, do some cheesing of like double Shalaxi or things like that. It gets a little nuts. That being said, you still have access to the allies. So in any detachment, even not the Carnival of Excess, like the Mercurial Host, which is the one I like, you could still ally in some demons of Slaanesh specifically, and kind of fix some weak areas or do some weird things. But
is it hobby time yet?
It sure is.
It's hobby time. It's hobby time. It's guys hobby time. Sorry.
Oh boy. Okay. I mean, let's not build it up that much. Jeez. So I've been cranking away on the Gene Stealer Cult build. We're still in the model building phase, but we got the cars built. The what are they? Ridge Runners. They're probably the closest thing to a sports car in the 40K universe that actually has like a plastic model that I've seen.
We've talked about this before. The Shock Jump Dragster. It's like not a sports car, but it is in fact a racing car. That is a dragster.
It is definitely a dragster. It's like a sports buggy thing. I would argue a lot of those are actually sporty, but in a janky, orky way. Mm-hmm. Also, I got a bunch of examples done for the store of Turbo Dork stuff and some of the Dirty Down weathering stuff. I also threw together some of the Dirty Down snot with some of the fluorescence from Lethal Shadows. And we have a blacklight over all the fluorescence now. So like you can see it made a little goo that's glowy goo now. And it's pretty good since we got the Fallout stuff coming in.
I'm so excited for
pretty
this.
Handy.
And I think that's actually more relevant. Okay, so the fluorescence work very well with Fallout all the time. Sounds great. But specifically the glowy glue, I feel like that works really well for things like Gene Stealer Cults, Tyranids. Like, I think that's going to become more useful down the road.
Well, and the thing is just the fact is you can mix any color, fluorescent or not, in with that stuff. And I mean, you could even just do like water effects with it. And because you can, you can do a lot. Anyway, besides hobby stuff, like what hobby stuff have you guys done?
Nothing. I've been spending the last week and some change memorizing Fallout Factions rulebook.
That's not true. We both built some models because I put together an MSU list.
You guys have been building so many jump packs. I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, so the team kind of had a little bit of trouble again, or at least some of the team had a little bit of trouble against MSU and Adepticon. and we kind of knew that was going to happen going into it. So I put together an MSU list while I was at Adepticon, and then we came back and over, after we got done being sick, we put together some models over the last couple of weeks, and I've gotten a few games in with them. I got another one scheduled for Saturday.
Yeah, but it's not just you guys. Everyone's on the what are they? Incursors?
Incursors are seeing a bit of a surge right now.
Jump Pack Assault guys. Not even the Blood Angels ones, just regular Primaris ones.
Honestly, you know what I love? Out of nowhere, we are starting to see people using Reavers again.
Yes.
Like, I say again, it might be the first time ever. But also...
Oh man. You want to talk about a unit that's been just buried for 3 editions? At least Wolfen were playable at some point.
You're right. And they are still technically playable now. Not in the way that they were originally intended, but also...
It's fine. Okay, so I got one, maybe 2 questions for you guys. Fun questions. Okay, so which Chaos God or Chaos Marine chapter would you fall to, and why? You have to pick one. You can't just say no. I'll kill myself.
Okay, all right. This is a multi-part question. You got to define the question. Are we talking about which one do we think would fall, or which one would we end up going into?
Which one would you end up going into? I would probably pick a Chaos God and then go to a Chaos Marine chapter after that.
Alpha Legion, without question.
All right, so it sounds good.
It's very simple for me.
Okay, I get it. You don't want to have to explain it. I understand. That's fine.
Oh, it's not even that. I'll totally explain it. Right? Like they're sneaky boys that adapt and do all sorts of other stuff. But
I thought Aaron was doing Alpha Legion.
No. Aaron doesn't do Alpha Legion.
I don't trust that.
No. You already know what faction Aaron's going to.
Is it World Eaters?
It's 100% World Eaters.
It's like,
and I will fall and become a Slaughterbound. That is my mission in life.
Just pokey Blood Angels. They're both red. They're basically the same.
Exactly. It's fine. I just want to kill shit.
You have just upset every Blood Angels player and every World Eaters player. No, they're not the same.
I'm an Orc player. They're like beaky or beaky with more spike, and they all fight, and they're all red.
Listen, as a Blood Angels player, I will fully admit we are this close to becoming World Eaters.
I mean, you already got the blood thing going. Like, I'm not even.
We love war.
You have so many skulls. I don't. I feel like Blood Angels show up and Korn's not even mad. He's like, "Oh, sweet, okay." My delivery was early. Okay, so that was too easy. How about a follow-up question? There are some Chaos Marine chapters that are like not aligned, like Night Lords, and I guess Black Legion is kind of like wide open. It's all of them, sort of.
Yeah, Black Legion is kind of all of them. While they're not technically aligned to one, like Abaddon is in fact favored by all 4. Yep. They're kind of all of them.
So is it Iron Warriors? They're the Chaos one, right? Yeah, they're Iron Warriors.
Yes, Iron Warriors is the Chaos one. Iron Hands are the
one. So with Perturabo and all that stuff, I know that Chris extra hates them for being ultra evil. No argument. I'm not trying to argue that.
Objectively the baddest of bad guys.
They really are.
Of all the bad guys in the whole universe, which is like most of them.
Okay, so my question is because they modify themselves so much with like machinery and stuff,
and others,
that, like they allegedly they're not aligned with any of the Chaos Gods. They're just basically jerks that have turned themselves into like tuner cars. So oh my god. You know, just like get dreadnought legs. Like no one needs a wheelchair, just like dreadnought legs. You're not even like a dreadnought. We just wanted to upgrade. So like they're kind of they're constantly upgrading themselves, like Mecha Hermes or whatever. and so And so I'm like, is that a Zinch thing? Because you're like changing a lot there.
No.
You got a lot of aftermarket going on. You don't think aftermarket... You think that's a Nurgle thing? You don't think aftermarket parts is a Zinch thing?
No, it's absolutely stealing the line from Iron Hands, not Iron Warriors. But also, the flesh is weak, right? Nurgle's whole thing is like, no, I'm going to give you this plague because I don't want you to die. Because it turns out like humans and Space Marines and all that are like really fragile, and you're totally going to die, and it's going to suck. Replacing like your weak arms with like this mechanical, like, look, I can bench press a tank now. No, that's a Nurgle thing.
I'm not sure I agree. I feel like Nurgle's answer to the flesh is weak is that like, well, it's really weak. So what you need is if one potato chip can only hold like 0.11 of a guacamole, then like you need like 50 potato chips. So instead, your flesh is weak. So I'm going to give you like 50 times the amount of flesh you want. And then it should be okay. Maybe you have enough now. I'm not going to make the quality of it good. It's going to no muscle. It's fine.
What was the question?
The question was, is Iron Warriors the like mecha evil modify myself with robot parts Chaos Marine Legion, are they more Zinch or something else?
Oh,
I'm arguing that they're more Zinchy of all the Chaos Gods because they keep changing themselves. But Chris has a pretty good argument that they're like kind of leaning into the like toughness, flesh is weak stuff. It's just, I don't know. I feel like Nurgle's kind of like not all four machines.
Well, then you could argue the Slaanesh part of things because, they excessively modify themselves with machines and others. And they do some real screwy shit.
Okay, you're right. And absolutely like being into like pain and hating everybody and stuff like that. Like there's an argument for Slaanesh, but I don't actually think. So the whole idea of like flesh is weak and all that stuff, that I think that's like the best argument from my perspective. But even if you go beyond that, there's like I don't know. I had it. This guy said a thing and I thought of it and I immediately got distracted.
It's fine. Some of my machines. I don't know.
I'm voting Black Legion style here. I'm voting they fall under all of the tiers of chaos because you could even argue Khorne on this one. Like because of the torture and the murder and the
that's fair.
You could argue all four. Some are going to be stronger than others in the argument. I'll give you that. But I mean, I think they fall under a Black Legion kind of flag on this one.
I feel like this Slaanesh one's the weakest argument. Not because it has no ground, but it's just that like Slaanesh is more of an Eldar problem. I mean, all the Space Marines are basically like castrated or something, or modified to. They don't got time for that. Let's just put it that way. But like, because you're just leaning in on at that point, you have to just lean in on the excess thing. And I'm like, well, geez, fucking Costco is like the most Slaanesh place ever. Wow, 78,000 rolls of toilet paper. That seems like too much.
Costco, that's it. It's canon now. Costco is ran by Slaanesh.
A 4-gallon like bucket of frozen nuggies for like $11.95. A little excessive.
Bringing back the nuggies.
Where are you gonna put that? I have to cook them all at once. Just saying. Anyway, did you remember your other argument, Chris?
No, I lost it. There was something you said that triggered the thought, and it hasn't come up again, so I still can't remember it.
It's fine. You'll have to just listen to the episode and trigger yourself again.
Oh, I will. It's going to be upsetting. Anyway, all right. That's us for today. Yep. I appreciate you all listening to my ranting about the good, the bad of Emperor's Children. Over the next couple of weeks, we've got 2 more codexes coming out, so we'll probably do reviews for them as well. We have technically all the leaks for World Eaters, which I've seen all the rules leaks. I haven't seen the points and stuff like that, so I don't quite want to do an episode until I get like the full picture. I think that's only fair to be accurate.
Sometimes they're different than the leaks anyway. Like
you're right,
different.
but even if they change it like a week after the Codex release, I would really like to at least be in the right ballpark. Like when I'm making an argument, I want to at least have ground to stand on, unlike Reddit. So
shots fired.
I'm gonna keep hammering on them because everyone listens to Reddit, but Reddit is just a bunch of people with mostly uninformed opinions. Even when they're correct, they're not willing to listen to other perspectives usually, which makes them still kind of wrong. Anywho, I'm going to try to stop bitching about Reddit one of these days.
What do you mean? The hot air keeps the Reddit servers from touching the ground.
Anyway, thank you for listening. We will see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. It's Aaron. I want to thank you again for tuning in for this episode of Gopher's Workshop with us, hanging out and listening. Remember, leave a 5-star review. Let us know what you think. And if you feel like supporting us, you can always go to Patreon in the show notes below. Thanks. Till next time.